Loneliness, it can be loud, but you know what? So can your growth. Hi, I'm Josie. I'm the host of the From Devastated to Divorce podcast and a separation survival specialist. And I want to talk to you today about the loudness of loneliness and how it can absolutely derail your healing journey if you let it. And I say that because for many of us, loneliness has a lot to do with our lack of self-worth. If you are secure in yourself, if you love yourself, if you enjoy time with yourself, loneliness isn't much of a thing because you know how to entertain yourself. You know how to go out and do things and have a nice time and find things to do with or without people. Of course, I'm not saying that you never ever feel lonely, but the loneliness that comes from an unwanted separation is like a whole different beast. It comes from a place of fear. It comes from a place of unworthiness. You feel like now that this relationship is over, you are never going to find another person. You're going to live alone for the rest of your life because no one else is going to love you because why? You're unlovable. And maybe your ex would tell you this all the time. Maybe you believe this about yourself even before your ex, and that's why you ended up with him in the first place because you settled. It is a common thought that we all have. I had it. Obviously, when I went through my unwanted separation, I started thinking, no one will love me. I am no longer going to be desired or wanted by anyone. And what do we do in that situation? We want to prove it wrong, right? So instead of living and dealing with the loneliness, we run out and find some random person and we give them the power to give us value and worth. Some random person, for me, it was a total loser. Anyway, there are stories about that if you care to dig deep in the bowels of my podcast episodes to hear about them. But that's where it was. I'm going to prove that I have value. And just some random guy who was a 3-time loser showed me attention. And I was like, cool, I'm valuable, I'm worthy, which is absolutely crazy. Because how valuable can you believe you are if it takes somebody that has done nothing with their lives to give you value? That's kind of the mentality. And that is why it is so important to live in the loneliness and focus on one of the most important tasks when you're dealing with an unwanted separation and headed towards divorce. And that is figuring out your value and your self-worth. Do you have any? Do you feel like you have value? Do you have self-worth? Do you know the amazing person that you are? Are you clear on that? Many of us aren't. I wasn't. I will be honest. For me, I felt like because I didn't bring in any money, I was a stay-at-home mom, that I had no value. When we separated, I moved myself and my son from our beautiful 2-story, 4-bedroom house into a little room together in my mom's house because I didn't pay the bills. Because since I didn't pay the bills, it wasn't even my house. And the sad thing is that he didn't say that to me. I said that to myself. I took my son out of his home because I didn't feel like I deserved to stay there once my ex said, I think we need a separation. I chose to do that because I didn't believe in myself. I don't want you to do that. I want you to stop and think about all the negative things that you're saying to yourself. Think about them. Why do you say them? Who says this to you? Why do you believe it? And what in your world and life proves that it's right? For me, in this house, I made sure that the bills were all paid. I made sure that the lawn care guy was showing up. I made sure there was food on the table. I made sure that if there was a problem, it got repaired. I had that house running. The only thing that I didn't do was bringing the money to pay it. And I'm not saying that that's not an important part, because absolutely it is. But I devalued everything else because there was no money. And you might have a similar situation about something that you do in your family and in your dynamic. Heck, you might be different from me in the fact that you might work. You might work full time. You might be a professional. You might be the breadwinner in your family. And still, for some reason, you don't feel like you're valuable. You still are letting whatever he says control you. You're still feeling like, even though you are doing pretty much everything, you have no value. And oh my God, what happened? What's going to happen to me now now that we're separated? Mind blown. All of this has to do with you not believing in yourself. And all of that had to do with me not believing and being clear on myself. So we go back to living in the loneliness, sitting in the loneliness, not trying to fill it with random people, not trying to fill it with fake friends and fake fun and going to clubs and doing all this kind of stuff. No, actually forcing yourself to sit in the loneliness and slowly rebuild yourself. And a whole nother aspect of that is you're not alone. You have yourself. Start taking yourself out on dates. Start going to do things alone. Go to the movies. Go to the park. Go get that lunch. Go sit at that restaurant. Go to the museum. Go to the water park. I know it sounds crazy and it's like, oh my God, people are going to see me. People are going to see me alone. I'm going to be alone. So what? Do you know them? Do you know these people? Will you ever see them again? They might be with someone looking at you alone and saying, dang, I wish I was here by myself. He's making my time miserable. You never know what other people are thinking. And so you need to focus on you. You need to recognize that you are amazing. You can have a fun time with yourself. You can have great experiences alone. And I don't want you to, I'm not saying be a hermit or anything like that. I, of course, would not have made it through my journey of separation and divorce if it wasn't for my support system. They were amazing. My friends were amazing. My mom, my brothers and sisters, they were all helpful and amazing. And yes, you can lean on them. And yes, you hang out with them. And yes, you enjoy time with them and all of those things. But they cannot be where you get your validation from. Even your kids, you love your kids. I loved my son. We had so much fun together. We really did. And I look back at those times and I love them so much. But I couldn't depend on him to give me validation either. I needed to be the adult. I needed to learn to love myself. I needed to be the best me that I could be so that I could be the best mom, the best friend, the best person. And so I know that it's hard, but honestly, I say this often. Self-worth is the key. Knowing your worth, knowing your value is the key. And we go back to loneliness. When you are living your best life and can understand that I can have a great time by myself, I can do things by myself, I love my own company, I enjoy my own company, then it makes it so much harder for you to let those 3-time losers into your life because you are happy, you're content, you're satisfied. A person that comes in is the cherry on top of your life. You're not bringing them in to be the missing piece because you don't have a missing piece. You have a full and complete life, whether you have somebody in it or not. And I know that people will argue with me and say, we were meant to be in couples. We were meant, okay, great. You can be around people, but it doesn't mean that your life is not complete if you don't have someone. But if you are clear and secure in yourself, you can tell when there's a bad person coming in, when there's someone who wants to control you, when there's someone who wants to dictate to you, when there's someone who wants to use you. You're going to notice all of that. You're going to be so clear-eyed to all of that, that first of all, you're going to hit the brakes on them. But more than that, you will repel them because when they see a strong, secure, validated woman that knows her worth, they don't mess with you. They don't mess with you because they know it's going to be hard to get to you. So they'll just go with an easy picking. I don't want there to be easy pickings out there. This is why I do this, because I want there to be so few women that aren't clear on their worth and value that these guys are out of luck. Okay? That is my goal. So the loneliness is loud, it's scary, but use it as a time to heal and grow. Now, how do you do that? Okay. I have a checklist that talks about where you are on your journey from separation to divorce. You can find it in the show notes. You can find it in the description below. And you take that, you look at it, you analyze, where are you? Where am I in this journey from separation to divorce? Am I still devastated by him asking for it? Am I ready to rebuild my self-worth? Where am I? You figure that out first. And from there, you can start making steps to move forward. I have a roadmap for you to figure out how to move forward. And it's so important, but we want movement. And this is what that checklist is for. So you see where you are and you are clear on your roadmap moving forward. It is something that I created because, trust me, I wish I would have had it. I made so many wrong turns. I hit so many dead ends. I made so many mistakes. And I hope to help you make less of them. Nobody's perfect, but if I can get you a little bit easier through the journey than I had, then I have succeeded in my mission. And that's what I would love to do. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.